Miami Dolphins don't have much time to lick their wounds. Off to Buffalo for Thursday Night Football, trying to avoid an 0-3 start, which would make an already hot seat hotter.
Tua on fourth down. Pressure coming. Tua in trouble. Down he goes. Seals the game for the Patriots.
Getting on the board won't be easy against a 2-0 Bills squad that looks as dominant as any team through 2 weeks.
Wide open, off and running with Elijah Moore.
Bills offense good for 30 points last week, and it wasn't even a foot on the gas type of game. Barely even needed Josh Allen to do much. Miami's defense getting an O that can beat you both ways.
Look at that move by Cook, and he's still going! James Cook!
That was next level. You used the joystick there for the jump cut, the wiggle.
Clean up on aisle 6, please. Someone left a lot of jock straps behind. Bills offense rumbles in off a James Cook game. They have those a few times a year. Cook's ankle-breaking run, just one of 2 TDs he scored week 2. 132 yards, 6.3 per. It's called having yourself a day.
Adding up to the numbers, almost breaking it. 14 more for Jimbo Cook.
Miami, of course, also has to contend with Allen's legs. He scored twice on the ground in week 1, then last week skipped off a 40-yard run, part of his 59-yard rush outing.
And he's off and running. Switches hands with the football to deliver the stiff arm.
So an offense that's gone for 30 versus the Jets, 41 versus the Ravens, now going after a Miami defense that gave up 33 to the Colts, but hey, maybe they're for real, and then 33 to the Patriots. I'm no mathematician, but the Dolphins better tighten some things up if they hope to keep this one close.
Diving attempt, and he's got it! And New England adds to its lead.
Okay, yes, they only gave up 26 points last week, being 1 touchdown was a kickoff return. Still haven't looked great trying to slow offenses down, and they gave up 4.9 a run to Ramondre Stevenson last week, 31 rush yards, and a rush TD to Drake May.
May pressure coming by Judon. May steps up, looking to keep it. May! Touchdown!
Their play against the pass needs an even bigger facelift. 230 yards allowed to Drake, 2 touchdowns, 10 yards per attempt, a rate given up over 135.
May moving, throwing, and it's caught for a touchdown!
That came on the heels of making Daniel Jones look elite, too. Josh Allen doesn't just look elite, but he didn't throw it elitely in their win. Didn't have to, really, but still, 148 yards, 5.9 yards per attempt, no touchdowns, a sub-75 rate. Fantasy owners were not happy.
Pass knocked down, brilliant play.
Allen's meager numbers mean not many Bills pass catchers enter off big games. Khalil Shakir, 12 yards. Keon Coleman, just 26. Elijah Moore pulled in a 31-yarder. Tight end Dalton Kincaid, 37 yards. Joshua Palmer, their yards leader in week 2 with 47.
Trubisky throws a strike to Palmer.
Dolphins DBs only got burned by one guy. That was Stevenson out of the backfield, who went for 88 yards against them. Held everyone else, Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, Mac Hollins, to under 40 yards, and their pass rush signed off 3 times on just 23 pass attempts. Bradley Chubb and Chop Robinson with 1 each.
May in trouble, and Drake May is taken down. Chop Robinson makes the play for Miami.
Allen took a single sack on 25 pass attempts, not an easy dude to take down, and Buffalo's defense not easy to score on if Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry aren't on the field. Justin Fields and Breece Hall may have similar traits, but they ain't them. Bills defense held New York to 10 points, 7 late garbage points too. Dolphins O, staring at a D that didn't allow a single first down conversion, held Fields to 2.5 yards per attempt, 27 yards before he got hurt. Only allowed 1 pass catcher more than 9 yards.
Sideline it goes, no one there. Jets are going to punt.
Here things at least get a little more interesting, being Miami's offense showed some signs of life in their loss. Still lots to fix, only accounted for 20 points versus New England. Tua threw a bad pick again, but there were more chunk plays at least. Tagovailoa threw 2 touchdowns, close to 10 yards per attempt, 315 yards, and a 115 rate.
Tua taking a shot for the end zone. Waddle is down there. Touchdown! Jalen Waddle!
He did all that while taking a fat 5 sacks to 32 pass attempts.
3rd down and 7. Tua steps up. Landry's got him!
Taking 5 sacks is risky business. Bills counter with a 4-sack week 2. Joey Bosa, his first as a Bill.
Oh, they're on him again. It's Bosa forcing the fumble. Back-to-back plays made by Joey Bosa.
The only Jet Buffalo secondary allowed any yards to, Garrett Wilson, who got away with 50. Miami has 3 pass catchers who come in with something to talk about. out, Bills corners dealing with the usual suspects on the outside, harder to track when they don't have limps. And even though he waddles, Jalen can score. He racked up 68 yards as well.
And he holds on despite the big hit. A gain of 23 for Jalen Waddle.
And of course, Tyreek Hill got the engines going to the tune of 109 yards with a 47-yarder mixed in.
And he makes the adjustment in the catch. And finally, Tyreek Hill has a catch of more than 30 yards.
And running back Devon Achane, who led the team in targets, went for 92 yards and a receiving touchdown.
Achane 10, 5, Achane spinning, touchdown!
Achane, not as effective as a runner versus New England, only 30 yards on 11 attempts, 2.7 per carry, gets a Buffalo defense that held Hall to 29 yards on 10 tries. That's 2.9 per.
Not this time. That'll put him in negative yardage rushing after that setback on Hall.
Wow, Buffalo has taken Miami 15 of the last 17 times they've met. They've won the last 6 straight. So let's be kind and take Fins fans back to the last time they swept the Bills in a season. The force had awakened, and so did Miami's playoff hopes after this thriller.
Gets it off. He's got Parker. He's got the first down. Still on the gone. He's gone. Wow, what a play by Devontae Parker.
The J Train would save his best performance for overtime.
He's at the 40 and dragged down at the 29-yard line. Jay is shy to win it. The kick is up, and the kick is good. The Dolphins defeat the Buffalo Bills in overtime, 34-31.
Well, how about this tasty little NFC West throwdown between a couple of 2-0ers? Both teams getting there by holding off last-minute flurries. The San Francisco 49ers at home this week after sacking their way to win number 2.
4th and 2, pressure coming, ball is out, loose on the turf.
They get the Arizona Cardinals, who know the feeling, had to bag it up at the end of the game as well to stay perfect.
On 4th down, Young sacked, turning out the lights on the Panthers.
So somebody's going to go 3-0 when it's all said and done, barring, of course, the roulette ball landing on 0-0. Both teams have a win against the Saints, and both had to hang on against them. Little Mac, though, sure didn't have trouble in his bout with them. Knocking out Glass Joe is one thing, though.
Jones weaving, nice move, kind of sidled his man.
If Brock Purdy is still on the shelf, it's more Jones, and that's not a bad thing based on how Kyle Shanahan had him fighting in his Week 2 start. Dodged the jab, counterpunched, used his stars for 3 TD passes, 275-plus yards, a rating over 110.
To the left, caught, Farrell, rumbling towards the goal line.
Doc Lewis would warn him, though, Bald Bull is coming, or maybe the Red Sea thinks they're on super Macho Man level, I don't know. But the Cardinals defense he's in the ring with hasn't given up more than the 22 points it gave up to Carolina last week.
Young is blown up, and it is picked.
Oh my.
Now, they did let off the gas a little in the second half. Losing multiple starting cornerbacks didn't help, but the game is 60 minutes concept surely will be drilled into their heads all week. They ended up giving up over 325 yards and 3 TDs to Bryce Young.
Young just drifts over to his right side and has the time to spot Renfro coming open.
Again, keep your eyes and ears open for news on Arizona corners Max Melton, Garrett Williams, and Will Johnson as we get close to game time. Their status plenty significant.
This is not a good look right now for the Cardinals defensive backs.
Arizona limited Young to 6 yards per attempt, too, and they faced 55 pass attempts, picked him off once, as well as sacked him 3 times. Calais Campbell had 2 for the game, Josh Sweat had 1 as well, and would have had 2 had he remembered to bring a pillow to lay Bryce's head on. That's on you, Josh. What do you think you're playing? Football?
Personal foul, roughing the passer defense, number 10.
Unbelievable
They would seem to be lined up to meet up with San Francisco's quarterback after Jones was dropped 3 times by the Saints.
Pocket collapsing, he's in trouble.
Arizona's secondary, as it was, had the most trouble with Teteroa McMillan, got him for 100 yards, so in comes Juwan Jennings, who scored and went for 89 yards versus New Orleans.
They find Jennings running free. Juwan Jennings gonna take it in.
They also have to chase Ricky Pierce all around, a 100-yard game in Week 1, 56 yards Week 2.
A sliding grab made by Ricky Pearsall.
Kendrick Bourne is back as well, 32 yards in his return. Tight ends Jake Tunges and Luke Farrell combined for 46 yards and a touchdown as replacements for Kittle. CMC pulled in an air TD with 52 yards.
Floats it for McCaffrey, makes the catch, touchdown!
McCaffrey added 55 yards on the ground as well, 4.2 a pop. Arizona has played the run well so far versus Alvin Kamara, 4.1 a carry, 45 yards. Last week, they held Chuba Hubbard to 38 yards, 3.8 a carry.
This Cardinals defense revamped, and look at that pursuit.
Cards D has done its part, still could be better. Their offense, though, has plenty of work to do still. 20 points Week 1 with their defense giving them lots of opportunities, followed by another 20-spot game Week 2. 7 of their 27 points came via a defensive touchdown.
It is going to take some time for all these pieces to come together and gel.
They went 3 for 9 on 3rd down, didn't run for many yards, and Kyler Murray comes in off a kind of up and down showing. He was picked off, ended up with a low 90s rate, which isn't terrible, and that's because he wasn't that at all. 220 yards on a healthy 8.8 yards per attempt, evened out the INT with a TD.
Murray back in the end zone, touchdown!
Marvin Harrison comes in cold, 5 targets, only 2 catches, 27 yards. Running back Trey Benson had 30 yards last week. Murray really leaned on his tight ends. Elijah Higgins with 45.
Murray hard fake, somehow pulls it back and he completes.
And Trey, father of the McBride, led the way with 78.
Up the seam, it's McBride.
Murray and company looking at a San Francisco defense that held New Orleans to 21 points, held Seattle to 13 the week before.
Here's Kamara in the backfield.
San Francisco's secondary, though, didn't handle Spencer Rattler great, gave up 3 touchdowns to him, no picks, a rating over 115.
Floats it down the sideline, one-on-one for Johnson.
Like Arizona, though, they faced 34 pass attempts and held him to 6.1 yards per attempt, only gave up 207 yards, and also like Arizona, sacked him 3 times. Nick Bosa with 1. I didn't see if they got hit with any Sarcastaball flags, though.
Looking, pocket collapsing, down he goes, Nick Bosa. He's got his 2nd sack of the season.
49ers did give up a touchdown and 49 yards to tight end Juwan Johnson, a TD and 52 yards allowed to Rashid Shaheed, 54 yards to Chris Olave, 6 catches to Alvin Kamara, but held him to 21 receiving yards. They didn't handle his runs well, though, 99 yards allowed on 4.7 a try.
Kamara again, an opening on the left side, 1st down and more.
That brings us to James Conner and Murray's legs. Kyler scampered for 32 on 4.6 a scamper, I guess. Conner scored, but not many yards and wasn't very efficient.
Conner had the lead blocker he needed, and he bangs it in.
Again, check the injury report on this one all week. San Francisco lost fullback Kyle Juszczyk last week as well. One of their guards got hurt too. Hawkeye and Pierce are going to be putting in OT for these teams this week. Lots of history between these two West rivals, but none stranger than the 2004 season. This is the ultimate strange but true. 49ers only won 2 games that year.
In San Francisco, the return of Joe Montana brought back memories of great comebacks and spectacular plays. Plays like this one by number 83, Arnez Battle.
A little room, though, up the middle here for Battle. Battle gets to the right sideline, comes to the middle, goes back to the right sideline, outruns the punter. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers.
They got it. That's your ball game. Niners win it. How about that? You could not ask any more out of your football team in a situation they've been. Come down here and lay it on the line and play as hard as that football team plays.
Carolina Panthers back home for Week 3, hoping that their Week 2 second-half play carries over, which won't be easy if Atlanta's defense carries its Week 2 play over to Week 3. The Falcons soar in 1-1, flexing their newly found defensive muscles.
Starting like that, ball's out and recovered by Divine Diablo.
Rise Up also did a little legwork before their first win of the year. Probably feel like they might have 2 dubs had the guy booting it for them last week was doing it for them Week 1. Let's do this. Start a preview with a kicker. John Parker Romo takes over for Young Wei Koo and hits the scene with a 5-for-5 showing, a 54-yarder mixed in.
He is proving worthy of the job.
Sure, that means Atlanta's offense has some things to clean up, but they now know they can win a game kicking it, playing good D, and toking the rock. Bijan, Basinger, we'll just go B-Rob. 25 receiving yards to go along with 143 yards on the ground, 6.5 a pop, left behind countless sore ankles.
Bijan, over 100 yards rushing tonight.
And Carolina can't rest when he's off the field. Tyler Algier went for 76 yards on 4.8 a carry and scored. Doesn't matter if no one tried to stop him.
Goal, and Algier walks into the end zone for the game's first touchdown.
Falcons offense still looking to really click though. 22 Week 2 points, 20 Week 1 points, going up against a Carolina defense that held Arizona to 20 points. Their offense gave up 7 of the 27, so they improved week to week, and they held James Conner to 3.1 a carry, just 34 yards.
James Conner, bear hug. Pat Jones punishing play in the backfield.
Panthers also come in off a solid showing versus Kyler Murray, held him to 1 touchdown while picking him off.
It's intercepted.
They didn't dominate him by any means, gave up 8.8 yards per attempt, but they did hold Marvin Harrison to 27 yards. So now they get Michael Penix, who struggled to generate much through the air versus Minnesota's blitz-happy D. 6.4 yards per attempt, only 135 yards, no touchdowns.
They're just trying to keep it under control.
Not many yards means not many pass catchers to talk about. Ray McLeod, no catches, 2 targets. Darnell Mooney played hurt, 20 yards. Kyle Pitts, 37 yards. Carolina did struggle with Arizona's tight ends, by the way. Drake London, the leader in yards with 49.
And Penix, that quick release, and on the run there goes London. Got the first down and 21 yards.
Penix faced pressure 33% of his passes. High, but not crazy high. He did take 3 sacks, and he only threw 21 times.
A big loss for Penix and the Falcons.
Carolina's pass rush had 25 chances to get to Murray, only chased him down once though. How often will Bryce Young be running for his life when Carolina has the ball? He draws a defense that held the Vikings to 2 field goals, in large part because their D split a JJ Sixer, and McCarthy only threw 21 times. Brandon Dorless and Zach Harrison chugged 1.5 each, Leonard Floyd with 1, James Pierce helped with a halfie, Jalen Walker with 1. This is what ATL fans call potential realized.
They didn't get those sacks a week ago, and they are coming in droves here so far.
Falcons secondary comes in feeling it, held McCarthy to 158 yards, no touchdowns, picked him off twice. A sub-40 rate is chilly stuff. Now they set their sights on Bryce. Really slow start to his week, and then he woke up. Young had to work for it, 55 pass attempts, but went for 325 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, almost pulled off the late rally.
And the Panthers not quite finished just yet.
Offense only good for 22 points though, and Young gave 7 to Arizona on a fumble too. Bryce took 3 sacks on his 55 tries, did face a 35.6% pressure rate, which you would find in High Times magazine.
Under pressure, sack.
Falcons DBs held every Minnesota pass catcher in check save 1, all under 32 yards. The one, Justin Jefferson, got away for a 50-yarder as part of an 81-yard game. Carolina counters with T-Mac, who followed his 68-yard rookie debut with a C-note showing versus Arizona.
McMillan, in his second game, has his first 100-yard game of his career.
Hunter Renfrow has to be accounted for. He comes in off a 2 TD, 48-yard outing.
Right corner of the end zone, touchdown catch by Hunter Renfrow.
Bryce to Bryson equaled 48 yards. Tremaine with a nice 26-yarder mixed in.
Bryce and Tremaine just when the Cardinals were ready to shut the door.
And tight end Jatavian Sanders caught 7 passes for 54 yards.
Slowly becoming a favorite target for Bryce.
Chuba Hubbard hauled in 39 receiving yards as well as running for 38.
Longest run of the day for the Panthers.
Only 3.8 yards per carry, though, against a Falcons rush defense that held Minnesota's primary runner, Jordan Mason, to 3.3 a pop.
Waiting for Mason is the Falcon front.
The last time these two played, it was a Carolina OT victory, which means they're working off one heck of a bookend because the first time they ever met, it also went to OT. Sherman, take us to 1995.
In their 30th anniversary season, the Falcons kicked off an I-85 rivalry with Carolina.
Take him right on down and put him in there, Jeffrey.
No ordinary expansion team. The Panthers would press the Falcons in a tight contest.
Stand in there, Jeffrey. Way to stand in there.
The game would go to overtime, where the Falcon defense would find a way to win.
Left to right, play fake, he's under pressure. Archambault rakes the ball loose and falls on it at the 30. Oh, baby, what a play by Lester Archambault!
From there, it was up to the Falcons' new secret weapon.
Tied at 20 in overtime. Morton Anderson, here's the snap, ball is down. Kick is up and good! Welcome to Atlanta, Morton.
It's a good old-fashioned battle of the backups. The Minnesota Vikings at home without their rookie signal caller, which based on their Week 2 might be a good thing, taking on the 2-0 Bengals, who march in with a JB that knows perfectly well how to fill in for a JB.
Browning to the air! Higgins! Touchdown, Bengals!
Jake Browning has the initials and the experience throwing passes to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and he has the momentum of a comeback win on his side.
Touchdown, Bengals! They have the lead with 18 seconds left.
Browning not only had the game-winning rushing TD, but added 2 passing touchdowns and 241 yards in relief of Joe Burrow, who's out for 3 months or so. Of course, Minnesota's secondary is also looking at a dude who threw 3 INTs.
Rolls to the right, off the back foot, throw is intercepted.
Big picture recap on Browning. This is his 5th year with Cincinnati. Didn't play at all last season. Went 4-3 for them in 2023, filling in for a hurt Burrow. Completed over 70% of his passes. They've held on to him for a reason. Cincinnati's offense good for a hefty 31 points against Jacksonville when the day was over, despite the 3 giveaways.
Browning to Chase again. That's catch number 10.
Putting up 31 on Minnesota would be a feat no matter who their QB is. Despite their own offense only putting up 2 field goals, they held Atlanta to a touchdown they gave up on purpose and 5 field goals. Hey offense, a little help here, fellas.
McCarthy taking a shot downfield. Going to be intercepted.
Secondary dominated Michael Penix, holding him to 135 yards, a low 80s rate. Only 6.4 yards per attempt have held both QBs they've faced in check in 2025.
Broke it up, trying to get it to Pitts.
They held Drake London to 49 yards, didn't give up more than that to any Falcons pass catchers. The test this week, harder to pass when it comes to the talent at the position. Jamar Chase comes in off a 14-catch, 165-yard touchdown game.
Jamar Chase gritties, touchdown Bengals.
T. Higgins also scored 56 yards.
Higgins bumped, doesn't matter, touchdown Bengals.
Tight ends Noah Fant and Mike Gesicki options as well, combined for 46 yards on 6 catches. Their line's ability to stave off Minnesota's pass rush will be big. Between Burrow and Browning, they took 3 sacks.
Browning looks that way, runs out of time.
3 sacks on 45 pass attempts isn't terrible per se, though. They only faced pressure 29% of the time, can also usually live with that. Vikings didn't get too many chances to bury Penix, but they got to him 3 times on 21 pass attempts. Dallas Turner, Jonathan Grenard a sack each.
They make the play right there with Grenard.
Along the ground, Cincinnati has Chase Brown, doesn't come in with a red X though, after finishing under 3 yards per carry versus Jacksonville. Maybe he gets it going versus Minnesota. The one facet of their defense that they need to fix, stopping runners, got gashed by both Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, over 215 rush yards on 5.6 per attempt.
Down the sideline for the first down at the 37-yard line.
So what about backup number 2? You all remember Carson Wentz had those couple really good years and then has mostly been honing his clipboard carrying skills. He at least doesn't have a high bar to meet. J.J. McCarthy didn't lead a single TD drive versus Atlanta. They managed just 2 field goals. He only threw for 158 yards, threw 2 INTs.
McCarthy laces it in there and it's taken away again.
He takes on a Cincinnati defense that enters off a mixed bag showing, gave up 3 touchdowns and 270 plus yards to Trevor Lawrence, but on 42 pass attempts, pencils out to 6.5 yards per attempt, and they picked him off twice, which kept him to a low 80s rate.
Cincy gets the stop, and the jungle lets him know.
Giving up 27 points is still troubling, allowed Parker Washington to go for 76 yards, De'Ami Brown 57, held Brian Thomas to 49 on 12 targets. The star they'll try and wrangle this week, Justin Jefferson, who broke a 50-yarder as part of his 81-yard day.
There's Jefferson! JJ to the 33-yard line.
No other Viking with 32 yards. Jalen Naylor, 31. Adam Thielen, 26. TJ Hawkinson, just 12. They couldn't get the ball to them because McCarthy got dragged down 6 times on just 21 pass attempts.
JJ, pressure on from behind.
Vikings line is beat up already too, which Trey Hendrickson could take advantage of.
Hendrickson from the backside!
That was Cincinnati's only sack on 42 pass attempts though, and they didn't pressure Lawrence at a very high rate. Also need to play the run better after giving up 5.1 a carry to Travis Etienne, gave up 139 rush yards total on 5.1 a run.
Etienne still going inside the 15.
Vikings run game appears to be in Jordan Mason's hands, though he struggled to do much versus Atlanta, 30 yards, 3.3 a carry.
Sledgehammer work to get close to the first down.
The last 2 times these teams have faced each other, they've gone to overtime. Bengals winning both to put them up 8-7 in the overall series. How about that game in 1989 between the two? Winner punched a ticket to the postseason.
First down, Minnesota. Wade Wilson drops to throw. Here comes a blitz. Wade to the screen pass. Rick Fenny broke a tackle at the 10, at the 5. Fenny touchdown!
For one half, Minnesota took the game right away from the Bengals.
Wants to throw, lofts it to the end zone, and it is good for a touchdown! Novoselsky, he caught it!
The Chicago Bears are back at home after giving up the rare but infamous 50 burger to drop to 0-2. They welcome the Dallas Cowboys, one of the happiest teams to be 1-1 that you're going to find.
The kick wins the game. Cowboys win in overtime.
Generically speaking, this is a 40-point offense facing a 52-point defense. Do with that what you want. Giving up 50-plus is only supposed to happen in college and Madden. Chicago went from granting 27 points to Minnesota to 52 to Detroit, so it got worse.
Lions have put up 52 points on Ben Johnson's Bears.
Cowboys offense they take on next just hit the Giants for 40 points, 3 in OT, but it was a showing that falls in line with what Boys fans expected from their offensive lineup.
This second half offense, they have been just outstanding.
It wasn't even a flawless performance either. Dak was picked off, Prescott finished under 7 yards per attempt, but 360 plus yards, 2 TDs, lots of clutch throws.
Dak has been very good in the second half here.
And now he gets a Chicago secondary that gave up over 330 yards to Jared Goff, almost 12 yards per attempt. That's Jabba the Hutt fat. 5 TDs without a pick, a 155-plus rate.
5 different Lions with touchdowns today against Dennis Allen's defense.
Chicago lost their best corner, Jalen Johnson, to injury. 115 yards, a TD hat trick given up to Amon-Ra St. Brown. 108 yards and a TD allowed to Jamison Williams. Cornerback Tyreek Stevenson, 99 yards and a touchdown given up. Now here comes Pickens and CD. Lamb went for 112 yards. He's clocked out both of his 2025 shifts with 100-plus yards.
Deep ball to the middle. Lamb at the 50 to the 40.
Pickens made a bigger impact in his second game in a star, scoring along with 68 yards. He played the WR2 role to perfection.
George Pickens has made some of the game's biggest plays.
And Kevontae Turpin played the WR3 role to the tune of 1 touchdown, 47 yards.
Zipped it through for a Turpin touchdown.
Dak's top Week 2 target, tight end Jake Ferguson, 78 yards, 9 catches.
Deep to the middle. It's caught by Ferguson at the 50.
Goff threw 28 times. No Bear ever met up with him. They try to get to Dak next, who was bagged 3 times by the Giants.
Back to throw. Sets in the pocket. Gets sacked.
And finishing off the Bears' turd Ferguson sandwich showing, they gave up 5.2 yards per carry to David Montgomery, 57 yards and a TD. 7.8 yards per carry allowed to Jahmyr Gibbs, 94 yards and a trip to the zone.
Jahmyr found the corner. 6 yards to the house, and the Lions are on top.
Which is countered by Javonte Williams coming off a 97-yard, 5.4 yard per carry, 1 touchdown outing, added over 30 receiving yards too.
And he breaks free, and Williams to the end zone.
So the Bears need to figure out how to not look like that old dad playing his 10-year-old son in Madden, screaming about how fake it is while getting housed. And not just on defense either. Their offense produced 17 Week 1 points, then 21 with no one caring about the last 7.
First points in a while for the Bears.
Production-wise, Ben Johnson's touch on their offense has set them back thus far. Cowboys defense taking on Caleb Williams, who only went for 207 yards versus Detroit, under 7 yards per attempt, got picked off.
Down the field and a diving interception.
He got some garbage time yards and a late meaningless TD, but if he was going to break out, maybe it's against the Cowboys. Their secondary gave up 450 yards to Russell Wilson, 3 touchdowns, a 123 rate. Yeah, 450 yards. That's more than Russ has ever put up, and he's like 47 years old. Gave up 37 points to an offense that couldn't score a touchdown the week before.
He's one of the best all-time deep ball throwers in NFL history.
They got the one key pick, but that was kind of a gift pick too. They gave up 167 yards and 2 TDs to Malik Neighbors, 142 and a touchdown to Wan'Dale Robinson, and 61 yards to Darius Slayton for good measure. Corner Trayvon Diggs was perfect. He gave up a 158.3 rating, over 100 yards, 2 TDs. Kyer Elam gave up over 150 yards and a touchdown. Rate allowed over 144. They get DJ Moore in this one, 46 yards in their loss to Detroit.
Over the middle catch by DJ Moore. Runs for a first down to the Lion 29.
And Rome Odunze, who appears to be Caleb's go-to, 5 more targets than Moore, 128 yards and both Williams TDs.
End zone! Touchdown! Touchdown Bears!
Heat is still a problem in Chicago. Caleb sacked 4 times by the Lions.
Sack number 4 for the Detroit Lions today.
Dallas's pass rush got to Wilson on 3 of his 41 pass attempts. Kenny Clark picked up 1. Take that, Micah.
Is Kenny Clark capable of getting sacks too?
Cowboys front against the Giants' rush attack. 84 yards allowed, 4 per carry. They can live with that. DeAndre Swift up next, 5.3 yards per carry, a touchdown and 63 yards.
Swift first down and more across midfield.
Cowboys up 16-12 over the Bears all time, the most lopsided game between them in 1985. Bears defense was decent that year, if I remember right.
The colorful Bears had already dethroned Dallas as America's team. Now they were anxious to prove themselves as the best team in America. The Bears manhandled Dallas in a way the Cowboys had never experienced.
Throw wide to the right, the running backs lined up in the end zone, and White backpedals underneath his crossbar, fires the right side of the ball, tipped in the air by Hampton, picked spins to the end zone. Touchdown! Renfro in motion to the left and back to throw. Hogebo has to get it away to hurry over the middle. Intercepted by Richardson. 35-30 down the right side of the 20, 15, 10-5. Touchdown, Mike Richardson of the Chicago Bears.
Chicago's 44-0 win was convincing evidence that the NFC Central Division title was just one of many crowns the Bears would wear in 1985.
After just 2 weeks.
And a lot to like about the way Justin Herbert started the season.
These aren't your 2024 Bolts. Forget 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Their 2025 preferred method of travel, through the skies. Herbert went for 300-plus yards, 3 TDs versus Kansas City in their opener, went for 2 more tuds, 240-plus yards versus Vegas, no picks, a nice 9 yards per attempt, rate over 120. Even folks in the wit should be proud.
Number 10's got it cranked up now.
LA's offense, though, comes in off a 20-point showing, though. Only 4 for 11 on third down and 1 for 3 in the red zone. Lots of trouble running the ball as Herbert led the team in rushing. Neither Najee Harris or Omarion Hampton able to crack 3.6 a run.
Harris does not get rolling.
Denver's defense they take on has been playing Big Sean at practice. They're trying to bounce back from a dud. They gave up 29 points to Indianapolis, gave up 165 yards on the ground to Jonathan Taylor, 50 more to him through the air.
Wide open Jonathan Taylor, and he's going to walk in. Touchdown!
Their secondary also has to try and correct some things. Patrick Surtain had a rare rough outing that included hurting his ankle. Denver gave up over 315 yards to Daniel Jones, a rate allowed over 100.
Alec Pierce with a 50-50 ball.
Broncos DBs gave up 40 yards to Michael Pittman, mentioned the 50 given up to Taylor, 51 yards to Josh Downs, 68 to Alec Pierce, and 79 to tight end Tyler Warren. Herbs leaned on his wideout room for most of his Week 2 production, 34 yards to Trey Harris, 48 to Ladd McConkey.
Proving just consistently hard to guard.
Keenan Allen has scored back-to-back games, 60-plus yards back-to-back games.
Number 13 back in a Charger uniform.
And Quentin Johnston comes in off back-to-back games that saw him find the end zone, 70 yards each game for him.
Last year the focus was on Johnston's drops. This year the focus is going to be on touchdowns.
The Broncos' vaunted pass rush also looking to rebound after only getting to Jones once. Getting to Herbert, not easy. He would take another pass pro game like he got last week. He took 2 sacks but only lost 6 yards, and he faced pressure less than 25% of the time.
Nice clean pocket there for Justin Herbert.
Pressure wasn't a problem for Nix either. 0 sacks taken on 30 pass attempts. He wasn't even hit once. Hung 3 TD passes on Indianapolis' defense, a rate over 110.
They've done it again! 3rd touchdown pass for Bo Nix.
Only 206 yards, but their offense rumbles in off a 28-point showing, cashed in all 3 red zone chances, looked more in sync compared to their opener.
That's a touchdown. Franklin, why not?
Now they have to try and keep cooking against a defense that's dropped a wet blanket over its opponent's offenses thus far. Did so all last year, so not shocking. Chargers holding Kansas City to 20, then put the clamps on the Raiders, not allowing them to even score 10.
Kept him out of the end zone in this one.
The secondary Knicks faces just picked off Geno Smith 3 times, held him to a Ron measly 4.2 yards per attempt, sub 40 rate, domination.
third tonight for Smith.
LA held Brock Bowers to 38 yards. Jacoby Myers went for 68 against them on 12 targets, though. All the passes they allowed to be completed, less than 10 air yards. Not a ton of yards went around to Denver's receivers in their loss. Cortland Sutton, 6 yards, 4 targets. Marvin Mims, 24 yards. The only pass catcher of note, another former Duck, Troy Franklin, who scored on 89 yards.
What a grab! Franklin, outstretched, hauls it in!
Chargers will have to try and chase Knicks down sans Khalil Mack. He had one of the 3 sacks of Geno, dropped him for 30 yards and losses, too.
That's 12.5 sacks he has against his former team in 9 games now.
LA's front, also tough to run on, held Ashton Genty to less than 4 yards per carry, just 43 yards.
Genty is going to be dropped for a loss.
Their next test, the author and LA's former mate, J.K. Dobbins, enters off a 76-yard day, 1 touchdown, a nice 5.4 yards per run.
And there goes Dobbins! Look at him spin and corkscrew down to the 20!
Chargers-Broncos has been a 2-game-a-year affair from 1960 on. 2013 season, the only playoff game ever between them, though.
Bounces around, throws in the end zone. Demaryius Thomas has it. Denver touchdown. Manning, design roll to the left, throws. Welker's got it, and Welker's got a touchdown. Gives the Broncos a 13-0 first-half lead.
Moreno's got it, and the Denver Broncos are going to advance.
Denver with a hard-fought playoff victory in this divisional playoff game.
Cleveland Browns at home, no rest for the 0-2 weary, and the Browns are very weary already. They welcome the 2-0 Green Bay Packers, who are looking to keep riding the newly constructed Cheesehead 110 freeway to a 3-0 start.
Good protection, pass wide open, making the catch and getting into Washington territory. Tucker Kraft, huge play here for 57 yards.
Browns looking at one of those super early MVP candidates this week, and at an offense that's gone for 27 points back-to-back weeks to start the year.
To the outside, wide open, touchdown, Tucker Kraft, Lambeau leap.
Cleveland's secondary goes from Joe Burrow to Lamar to Love. Jordan upped his game in their Week 2 win over Washington, 290-plus yards, 2 more TDs without any picks, a 113 rate, so over 110 both games, 4 touchdowns, no INTs on the year, looks very in command.
Love fires open inside the 20. They go to the tight end, Kraft.
Love takes on a Browns defense that played the Bengals and Joe Burrow well in Week 1, but one that just gave up 34 of the 41 points they had scored on them. Cleveland's secondary allowed Lamar Jackson to throw 4 touchdowns, gave up a rate over 125, no picks.
Caught! Touchdown, Walker!
Corner Greg Newsome looking to rebound after allowing over 80 yards. Cameron Mitchell hoping to shed the Waldo cap after he gave up 3 of the 4 touchdown passes. They won't have Jaden Reed to worry about. He's out hurt. The silver lining for Green Bay, in theory, Jordan loves all his pass catchers equally. He still has Romeo Doubs. He caught one of Jordan's 2 TDs, just 28 yards. Dontavian Wicks went for 44 yards versus Washington, saw the second most targets.
Play action. Open. Wicks again. Back to back. Another first down.
Wideout Malik Heath pulled in a 37-yarder last week, and the Browns better not ignore Green Bay's tight ends the way Washington did. Luke Musgrave, 32 yards, and the star of their Week 2 win, Tucker Kraft, saw the most looks, cashed them in for 124 yards.
Kraft does it again. What a night he's had.
Ground game Cleveland takes on, still in the hands of Josh Jacobs. He's been grinding so far, under 3.8 yards per carry in both games, but he has made visits to Bob Rossland in both contests.
Give it to him again, and into the end zone he goes. Touchdown Packers.
Rush defense wasn't a problem for the Browns versus Baltimore anyway. Held Derrick Henry to 2.1 a run, only gave up 13 yards to Lamar. Their front also did get home 3 times. Myles Garrett accounted accounted for half of them. Browns pressured Jackson a healthy 44% of his passes.
Jackson, pressure's coming. Wow. And Myles Garrett spins him down.
Love took 2 sacks versus Washington, none in week 1. Hasn't hurt their offense too bad when he's been dropped.
Love backs up, under pressure, down he goes.
As much love as Love is getting for the start of his year, the Green Bay defense Cleveland's offense is stacked up against has received just as much amore, have held their opponents, Detroit and Washington mind you, under 20 after keeping the Commanders' to just 18 last week.
Stepping up, flag thrown, normally in the area of holding, and Parsons gets in there.
The Browns went from scoring 16 points in week 1 to 17 in week 2, and 7 of those were put up in Oscar the Grouch time.
Pressure's coming. Flacco with a stiff arm, and he'll just throw it away.
Browns need a cure for the case of Flacco fever they've caught. It's not the good kind of fever either. Not sure if they need to take more Joe for it, or some cowbell maybe. Flacco under 200 yards passing versus the Ravens, under 4.5 yards per attempt. He got picked off a 65 rate and lost a fumble.
This is just a horrible decision and worse throw by Joe Flacco.
Dillon Gabriel's NFL debut at least went great, 3 for 3 into TD.
Throwing toward the end zone, caught the first touchdown pass for Dillon Gabriel.
Flacco versus Baltimore, 2 sacks taken, pressured close to 40% of the time. That's on the Pineapple Express side of things.
They're down at 5. The blitz was coming. Flacco on the run again, just tries to throw it away. It'll be 4th down.
Now Cleveland's tackles square up with Rashawn Gary and Micah Parsons. Micah was in on one of the team's 4 sacks at Daniels, pressured him all night. Gary planted him once. That's back-to-back 4 bad games for the Cheese.
Daniels wrapped up, going down. Rashawn Gary.
Packers secondary has used that heat to cook up some nice games against the pass. They've taken on Jared Goff and Daniels, held both guys under a 90 rate, held Daniels to just 200 yards last Thursday, under 5 yards per attempt. Corner Keyshawn Nixon has knocked down 5 passes so far.
Pressure, pass is incomplete. Intended for Brown, Nixon makes the stop.
Browns running back Dylan Sampson has made his mark in both games so far. He caught Gabriel's TD. Cedric Tillman pulled in Flacco's on a semi-miracle, just 22 yards. Tight end David Njoku managed 40.
In the pocket toward the middle, Njoku's got the first down.
Tight end Harold Fannin has seen action in the passing games back-to-back weeks. 5 catches, 48 yards, week 2 for him.
Flacco, and he's got his tight end is rookie Fannin. Bow-legged and all, he's close to midfield.
And the Browns' most dangerous pass catcher, Jerry Jeudy, comes in off a 51-yard outing.
That's a nice back shoulder throw, and then he skies for the ball.
So far, Green Bay's defense has been stout across all 3 levels, too, so Cleveland's backs have a tough nut to crack as well. Held Washington to 2.7 yards per carry, have held both their opponents under 55 rush yards.
And the ball handed off, and the tackle is made right away. Lucas Van Ness.
Browns counter with another rookie, Quinshon Judkins, everyone. Here's the clip I was waiting for 2 weeks ago. 10 carries in his NFL debut, broke a 31-yarder for a nice 6.1 per carry day.
He is a hammer. Watch him come down here. Whap, whap. He wants to run you over, not around you.
Jerome Ford went for 5.2 per on his 6 tries. The Packers have won the last 4 games versus the Brownies, 6 of the last 7. You got to go back to 2005 for Cleveland's last win over Green Bay.
Playing in place of an injured Kellen Winslow, tight end Steve Hayden picked up more than 100 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Trent Dilfer threw his 3rd touchdown pass of the day. This one to first-round draft pick Braylon Edwards.
50, 40, 35, 30. Braylon Edwards gone. 10-5 touchdown.
To win on the road in the NFL is a tough thing to do. So this ball, all right, goes to the 2005 Cleveland Browns.
Houston Texans hit the road for Week 3, still looking for that elusive first win of the year. They are in Jacksonville for Round 1 with the Jaguars, who also come in off a Week 2 loss.
He calls game there on Trevor Lawrence.
So we have a couple of AFC South foes hoping to keep up with the Joneses, or the Jones. The Jaguars, at least, have an offense that hits Week 3 with some confidence, 26 Week 1 points, followed by 27 Week 2 points.
Lawrence, pocket, rifles, back of the end zone, a smooth opening drive for Jacksonville.
Trevor Lawrence hoping to draw from the Week 2 good and leave behind the 2 INTs he threw in their loss, a low 80s rate as a result.
Tipped and intercepted.
T-Law also threw for 3 touchdowns, though, over 270 yards.
And he hit that stanky leg and that explosion to the end zone.
Now he's up against one of the top defenses in the game. Can't pin the blame for their 0-2 start on that defense. Wasn't able to come through on the final drive of the game, I know, but they held Tampa to 20, gave their offense plenty of chances to pull away. They haven't given up 21 in either loss.
Mayfield is just going to get rid of it.
The Texans secondary Lawrence will do battle with. Did give up 2 TDs to Baker Mayfield, no INTs, but they held him to 5.7 yards per attempt. Derek Stingley made passes to Mike Evans, almost impossible to complete, and their pass rush blew up Mayfield 4 times. Daniil hunted him down twice, Will Anderson once.
Mayfield, Anderson got there.
Lawrence only got sacked 1 time and he threw 42 times. Used his time upright to hook up with Parker Washington for 76 yards.
Parker Washington climbs the ladder. Well done to silence this crowd.
Connected with De'Ami Brown for 57 yards and a TD.
De'Ami Brown pays it off.
Brian Thomas accounted for 49 yards. Thomas with 12 targets, though, only 4 catches. And that company is still waiting to feel good about ponying up for those Trevor Travis BFF ads. Hunter, 22 yards last week, just 33 the week before, hoping it wasn't another premature Will Levis Mayo ad kind of thing.
Hunter, second straight reception, and he has enough for the first down.
Things get interesting on handoffs, too. The one thing the Texans defense struggled with in their loss to Tampa was the Bucky Irving Rashad White rush attack. Ended up allowing 5.6 a carry, 169 rush yards when the night was over.
Ground game is working for Tampa Bay in this one.
Now they get one of the hotter backs after 2 weeks. Jags' ETN machine has been flush with yards. Travis, 71 last week on 5.1 a carry after a huge first week under new head coach Liam Cohen.
ETN still going inside the 15.
Texas offense would love to run the ball a little bit like that. Nick Chubb did score at least last week.
Add to it, Nick Chubb, touchdown Texans.
Still only averaged 3.6 a run, even with that 25-yarder. Their lack of ground game, one of the factors that limited them to 19 points of offense, which came on the heels of a 9-point Week 1 showing. They went 2 for 9 on 3rd down versus Tampa.
Gets it away this time and has a first down with Schultz.
C.J. Stroud did make plenty of big throws, 1 touchdown, no picks, rate close to 100.
Touchdown! Texans, what a catch!
But only 207 yards, and when they didn't hit on big chunk plays, they didn't hit at all. Maybe they hit more versus a Jacksonville defense that gave up 31 points and let a backup drive down and win the game late.
Touchdown Bengals, they have the lead.
Jags secondary doesn't come in totally rattled, though. They came away with 3 INTs in that loss, held Cincinnati's quarterbacks to a sub-80 rate.
He throws it late into a party of Jags defenders.
Stroud is staring at a group that also gave up 3 touchdowns and over 315 yards, gave up 56 yards and a TD to T. Higgins, could not cover Jamar Chase, who went for a touchdown and 165 yards. So that gets us to Nico Collins, who hauled in a TD on a great catch. Only 52 yards for the game, 9 targets, 3 catches. No one else even cobbled 40 yards receiving together for Houston last week. And then there's Stroud's protection, plus 35% pressure rate faced, not great. Took on 24 pass attempts.
Pressure and a sack, Levante David.
He has to worry about a Trayvon Walker-led Jags pass rush that made it home 3 times versus Cincinnati. Walker his first bag of the season.
Trayvon Walker closed that quickly.
As to their ability to handle Chubb, Jacksonville held Chase Brown to 2.9 a carry. Houston has dominated Jacksonville over the years, and they've won 3 of the last 4, 12 of the last 14, up 31-15 overall. Maybe the best game ever between the two, an OT shootout out back in 2012.
Though the Jaguars built a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter, historic performances from Johnson and quarterback Matt Schaub kept Houston in the game. Houston capped off a dramatic win.
Schaub in the gun, throws it right side, wide receiver screen. Andre Johnson across the 40, 35 to his right 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, rock and roll! The Texans win it! Andre Johnson, 48 yards! My goodness! The special season continues.
The Tennessee Titans are at home this week, still looking for the right combination to a win. They take on the Indianapolis Colts. The 2-0 Indianapolis Colts, 2025s. Are they for real, Kings, after 2 weeks?
Spencer Schrader, it's good, and the Colts have won!
The 2 for $1 pickup basketball concept was in full effect in Indianapolis's dramatic Week 2 win over Denver. Not one single shoe fan cares. They have a chance to see if their team can start 3-0 for the first time since that Painter guy was back there, 2009. Why not? They sport an offense that's been good for 29-plus points each game, the latest 29 coming against a defense that was supposed to put them in their place.
7-yard touchdown pass, and the Colts are back in business.
Colts are loving Danny Franklin D. Roosevelt. Jones is loving the blue and white. Maybe it was just the shade. 316 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions, a plus 100 rate last week after sparkling in Week 1.
The dive, the push, the grind, the touchdown!
What could be after 3 weeks after he takes on a Tennessee defense that just gave up 33 points at home to the Rams? Those guys are going to have to be good at paddling upstream this year. DJ gets a secondary that gave up 298 yards to Matthew Stafford, 2 touchdowns, a rate allowed over 100.
Makes the connection to Adams, the catch and curl.
Tennessee's DBs didn't handle LA's 1-2 WR punch, 91 yards allowed to Puka Nacua plus a 45-yard rush TD, 106 yards and a TD allowed to Devontae Adams. Jones has been using anyone and everyone. Michael Pittman, their Week 1 star, 40 yards Week 2.
Pittman grabs Surtain, gets the first down.
Josh Downs, 51 yards.
He's got his receiver at midfield, that's Downs.
Alec Pierce, the field stretcher, 68.
Jones going deep, oh, he's got him, he's got Pierce! Caught!
And rookie tight end Tyler Warren, 79 yards, has been good for 76-plus back-to-back games to start his career.
He's got the rookie tight end, Warren on the fly.
Titans pass rush only got to Stafford once on 33 pass attempts. Colts O-line they tangle with just tangled with the Denver defense loaded with pass rushers. They only got to Jones once on 34 pass attempts. Back-to-back games with just 1 sack taken. Jones is going to have to get out of his dispensary biz if he keeps this up.
44-yard connection!
We're this deep into talking about the Colts' offensive success, and we're just now getting to JT. Jonathan Taylor barrels in off a 165-yard day, 6.6 yards per carry, broke a 68-yarder against a team that was hard to run on.
Oh, what a run! 69 yards!
The rush defense he faces next gave up 6 per for 149 yards. That's not good. 45 of those were on the Nacua jaunt. They held Kyron Williams to 3.9 a carry, but gave up 8.8 a run to Blake Corum and a TD.
He pounds it inside for the touchdown.
Lots of room for improvement with their defense week over week, and the same can be said for their offense, but there is a but. The facts, 19 points last week coming off a 12-point Week 1.
Pollard couldn't hold on to it.
Now for the but. Cam Ward showed his number 1 potential. His TD pass was a real beaut, Clark. Numbers on paper aren't great, but have to factor in the bigger picture when you evaluate him.
Caught! Touchdown! Spectacular! Io Manor!
But yes, Tennessee's passing attack still has lacked punch, a low 80s rate, only 175 yards on a meager 5.3 yards per attempt, and Ward has to find a way to stop going backwards. Comes with his style and the rookie reality, but 5 sacks taken week 2, he took 6 week 1.
Loses the ball, bounces around, the Rams have got it!
They face a defense that just faced the same offense their own defense faced. That's right? Indianapolis's D-boys come in a little rattled, 28 points allowed, gave up 3 TDs to Bo Nix, a rate allowed over 110.
Touchdown, Broncos on top!
Did pick Nix off once, but not a single sack on 30 pass attempts, which hurt them, barely pressured him, so that's a something has to give kind of thing. Their secondary only got dinged by 1 Denver pass catcher, wide receiver Troy Franklin, 89 yards and a TD allowed to him, held everyone else, including Cortland Sutton, under 25 yards. Ward hooked up with 2 guys for 50-plus yards last week. Rookie Alec Ayumanner, 56 yards, his first NFL TD. And Calvin Ridley was good for 57 yards. On the ground, gave up 5.4 yards per carry to J.K. Dobbins and a touchdown.
Into the end zone, touchdown Denver!
Cue some Tony Pollard then maybe, 92 yards on 4.6 a run in their loss.
Tony Pollard is going to carry tacklers with him.
Colts have bested the Titans the last 4 straight. Titans had taken the Colts the previous 5 games. How about the first time they ever met? Neither team in the cities they call home today.
Following week in the Houston Astrodome, the same combination, Unitas to Jefferson, accounted for 2 more touchdowns. The last coming with only 46 seconds to play, as the Colts sneaked past the Oilers 24-20.
The LA Rams hit the road heading east for the second week in a row, looking for a little revenge in Philadelphia. Eagles at home this week for yet another playoff rematch. They've had no problem running it back so far.
Here's Barkley, right side, sprinting through the hole. Saquon Barkley is in. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
2-0 versus 2-0. Neither team's defense has given up 21 points yet, so we start there. Philadelphia held Kansas City to 17 after holding Dallas to 20.
Another blitz. Mahomes in trouble. Sacked! So all of a sudden, Vic Fangio's blitzing every other down.
The Rams have faced the Texans, who they held to 9, held the Titans to 19 a week ago.
One-on-one, it's knocked away. Manor in a matchup with Darius Williams, and the defense wins.
Both secondaries have been tough to pass on. LA made C.J. Stroud look pedestrian, and then held Cam Ward to 175 yards on just 5.3 yards per attempt.
Just a beautiful punch-out right there by Emmanuel Forbes, who the Rams are very, very high on.
Philadelphia's DBs got it done against Dak and Patrick Mahomes, held him to a low 70s rate, under 190 yards, under 6.5 yards per attempt, picked him off. Thanks, Trav.
Oh, it's picked off! It's Makuba who's got it, and room to run, and a huge play for the Eagles.
That group now goes up against Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams, and Puka Nacua. The 3 powered the Rams' offense to 33 Week 2 points. Big spike compared to their Week 1 output. Stafford was almost up 300 when it was over, and it wasn't midnight. 2 touchdowns, a nice 9 yards per attempt, a 105 rating.
Stafford on first down. Hooks up with Nacua. Stiff arm, Nacua.
The Eagles secondary he's trying to dissect gave up 61 yards to Travis Kelce, a 49-yard TD to Tyquan Thornton, and that was about it. Puka and Devontae will test their corners, and remember, they did struggle with CeeDee Lamb. Adams was Stafford's Week 2 go-to with 13 targets, 6 catches, over 100 yards and a TD to show for them.
Tosses, end zone, touchdown! Davante Adams!
Nacua and Adams accounted for 22 of Stafford's 33 pass attempts, Puka 91 yards on 8 catches, and he scored on a 45-yard sweep, too.
They'll give it to him, and he's got it, and then some! Nacua! is going to take it all the way. They needed just a yard. They get the whole enchilada.
Stafford faced a 35% pressure rate. That's a little high. Only took 1 sack, though, on his 33 pass attempts. Philadelphia, with 2 Mahomes bags on 29 pass attempts, they hit him 10 times. Hawk-Tua Carter with 3 QB hits. Newcomer Zadarius Smith making an immediate impact with a half sack and 4 tackles.
And he is absolutely swamped. Zadarius Smith, he's made some plays today in his first game as an Eagle.
Eagles did give up a lot of yards to Mahomes on the ground, 66 plus a TD. That's not Stafford's thing, though. They held Kareem Hunt to 31 yards, just 3.9 a run. Who might they see more of this week? Kyron Williams, who only managed 3.9 a carry on 17 tries. He did chip in 66 yards. Or more Blake Corum, who scored and hit at 8.8 a pop on his 5 carries.
To the ground, it's Corum. Blake Corum, impressive run inside the 10.
Stopping the run will be at the top of LA's defensive to-do list. Their play versus Saquon was less than stellar last year, and it's not like they played Tony Pollard well last week, giving up 92 yards to him on 4.6 a carry.
Slipping out of a tackle, Tony Pollard.
So here comes Barkley. He scored for the second time in as many weeks, 4 per carry versus Kansas City, 88 yards. Sort of feels like he's a ticking time bomb.
Give it to him again. Try to get him a little momentum. He's got it. Saquon Barkley now is another first down.
Hurts got by with a little help from his friends again, scored on the ground, picked up some big first downs per usual, but as a passer, still sluggish. In fact, more sluggish than week 1, just 101 yards versus Kansas City on a measly 4.6 yards per attempt, a sub-80 rate. Offense only put up 20 points. That's less than 155 yards passing back-to-back games to start his year.
It's not a great throw there by Hurts. Slightly behind him. Cook ends up getting his hands on it.
Hurts took a couple of sacks, only lost 7 yards. LA's front was a key reason Ward had so much trouble as they dropped him 5 times. Kobe Turner had a sack, Byron Young with 2.
Goes down, loses the ball, bounces around. The Rams have got it. Nate Landman on the spot.
Byron Young with a beautiful second move.
Rams DBs gave up 57 yards to Calvin Ridley. That was the most of any Titans pass catcher. The 1 TD they gave up took Ward channeling his inner John Elway, too. They will shadow A.J. Brown next, from 8 yards to 27, so he's on the rise at least. Same for Devontae Smith, who upped his production to 53 yards.
For Devontae Smith, he's got it! Smith inside the 5.
Eagles have beat the Rams 9 out of the last 10 meetings, most recent, of course, last year's playoffs. So let's take the DeLorean back to the last time the Horns took the Wings in a postseason game. Marty, set the course for the 2001 season.
NFC Championship. We're back. The Rams are back.
4 months earlier, the Rams and Eagles fought to the final gun. This game would be no different. After taking a 10-3 lead, St. Louis trailed at halftime. In the second half, Marshall Faulk carried his team and the ball 22 times, scoring 2 touchdowns that gave the Rams the lead.
Faulk running left, puts his head down. That's how he's in. Touchdown Rams. What a second half. The St. Louis Rams are Super Bowl bound. Woo!
Las Vegas Raiders head east this week, hoping the third time is the charm for their offense. They're set up with a tilt with the Washington Commanders, both teams coming off losses that evened up their records.
Flip side of the Raiders battled tonight, but just not dynamic enough.
Neither one of these teams' O-faces have been very happy so far in 2025. Neither one has put up more than 21 points. Washington's offense still looking to recapture those 2024 vibes. They rode to 12 wins, 18 points versus Green Bay, only 1 trip to the red zone.
Coverage is good, and the pass is also good, but dropped.
Getting right versus Vegas's defense is far from a given, though. They held New England, who went for 30-plus Week 2 to 13 points Week 1. Then they play behind the 8 ball all night last week and still hold the Chargers to just 20 points.
Flips it short, incomplete. That's a win for the Raider defense.
Which quarterback will the Raiders' secondary face? Backup Marcus Mariota, who has done a nice job in fill-in work in the past, or Jaden Daniels, who has a knee injury that's made his status iffy right now? He went for 2 touchdowns last week, so 3 TDs, no picks across his first 2 outings.
Trying to get to the end zone. Yes!
Just 200 yards versus Green Bay, though, a meager 4.8 yards per attempt. Whoever goes takes on a Vegas secondary that gave up 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks to Justin Herbert on a hefty 9 yards per attempt, a rating allowed over 120. They surrendered a number of big chunk plays through the air.
Herbert launches downfield. It's Johnson in stride.
Raiders sacked Herbert twice, only 6 yards lost though, and they didn't apply much pressure, but watch out for Mad Max going up against Washington rookie right tackle Josh Connerly, who gave up 1.5 sacks Week 1, then gave up 2 more last week to Green Bay. Daniels got dropped 4 times by the Packers. Connerly has the Waldo hat on right now, and Crosby knows it.
Against this poor rookie who's just being educated tonight in the NFL.
Another issue Washington hopes to fix is the line between Daniels and Terry McLaurin. He did up his week-over-week production to 48 yards at least.
Juggled and finally caught by McLaurin. Boy, that was dangerous.
But that was on a team-high 9 targets. They have been out of sync thus far. Debo rides his stolen bike in off a 44-yard outing. Samuel, 7 catches back-to-back games.
Ball's got to get out in a hurry. Just gives Debo Samuel a chance to make a catch.
Long of just 12 yards. Only 1 completion of 20 yards last week to Zach Ertz, who caught another TD, led the team with 64 yards.
Nice weapon to be able to have. At least give you a chance.
Commanders' ground game. Daniels didn't do much versus Green Bay, 17 rush yards. The backfield work is now solely in the hands of Bill. Austin Eckler is out. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt only had 4 Week 2 attempts, just 17 yards.
And the 7th-round pick, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, picks up about 5.
What are the odds he sparks up a big game against the Raiders? Not great, being they held Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton to less than 3.6 a carry.
Watch him just come down the line of scrimmage and just wreck this.
The silver and black defense has done its part both weeks when it was all said and done. Their offense needs to try and find a way out of the black hole, though, from 20 Week 1 points down to 9 in Week 2.
A dangerous throw, and on the carom has a takeaway in the first play.
Geno Smith enters Week 3 off a Geno the Jets outing. 3 INTs, no touchdowns, a rate under 40. Could only complete yak passes. Anytime he put it up in the air for 10 yards, the ball landed on the ground or in an LA defender's hands.
Down the middle, end zone shot, and intercepted.
The Washington defense he draws next doesn't come in off a great showing. 27 points allowed. Gave up 290-plus yards to Jordan Love. 2 TDs, didn't pick him off. Gave up a 110-plus rate.
To the outside, wide open touchdown, Tucker Kraft.
Washington sacked Love 2 times, half a bag for Von Miller. Dorrance Armstrong didn't share his. He's made it home back-to-back weeks.
And off play action, Love rolling left under pressure, hit and sack.
Geno threw 43 times, sacked 3 times, and lost 30 yards in the process.
Smith has time, but he's running out of it, and he's sacked.
Washington's defensive soft spot versus Green Bay was the tight end position. 32 yards given up to Luke Musgrave, 124 and a touchdown allowed to Tucker Kraft, so cue Brock Bowers. He played with a brace on his knee in the Chargers loss, and it hampered him. 38 yards for the game.
It's something that he's trying to get used to. You can see it right there on his left leg.
Bowers, Jacoby Myers, and Trey Tucker accounted for 28 of Smith's targets. Tucker just 12 yards. Myers led the team with 12 looks, 68 yards.
Across the middle, catch made. Myers still running.
And then there's Ashton Genty, 43 rush yards versus the Bolts.
He has a crease this time and runs right over a man. That's vintage Genty.
38 yards in Week 1, both games under 4 yards per carry, so still waiting for that breakout performance. Genty next gets a defense that held Josh Jacobs under 4 yards per carry, but allowed 4.5 per run to Green Bay as a whole.
Instead of getting down, he lowers the shoulder and goes right over Quan Martin.
Washington has beaten the Raiders 4 straight games. Raiders up 8-7 overall, though. 1983, they played an epic regular season game that saw the Redskins win 37-35. They met again that season. Maybe you remember how it went.
The 6-yard line, Theismann with a straight drop. Looking into the end zone, throws it over the middle. Washington, touchdown, Joe Washington!
Tom Flores and every wearer of silver and black were primed and ready. First, special teams blocked the punt and recovered it for the game's first touchdown.
No let up, no let up.
There was no let up, as these Raiders dominated, as no Super Bowl team ever had.
Over the end, he gets away for a moment, comes back up to the 30, 25, 40, breaks past 2 men at the 50, down to the 40, picking up a blocker. Holy Toledo! It's all over. Dreams of the most loyal Raider follower here or in any other universe.
Just win, baby.
The New Orleans Saints head west for Week 3, still looking to get their hands on a win. They are in Seattle, who just got done tasting their first dub of the season.
Oh, bad bounce goes through the hands of Caleb Johnson. He may have touched that ball. That would be a live ball. It is a touchdown! It's a touchdown!
Seahawks return home after a big road win that saw their defense hold the line week over week and their offense wake up a little. Yes, New Orleans secondary gets Sam Darnold off a 2 INT game, but he also comes in off a 2 TD, 295-yard showing that falls more in line with his play from 2024. Offense accounted for a respectable 24 points, an uptick from Week 1.
Over the middle on the slant, Cooper Kupp.
Sam Darnold threading the needle with that throw.
Seattle's offense lined up versus a Saints defense that gave up 26 points to a Mac Jones-led 49ers offense. Their secondary can't look like Glass Joe again after giving up 275-plus yards and 3 TDs to Lil Mac. Rate allowed over 110 to Jones, who was playing without George Kittle, too.
As they find Jennings running free, Jawan Jennings gonna take it in.
Corner Alontae Taylor gave up 2 TDs in the game, according to Next Gen Stats. Linebacker Pete Werner also needs to bounce back after giving up a touchdown and 75 yards. New Orleans gave up 50-plus yards to CMC, 50-plus to wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, and 89 and a TD to Jawan Jennings. Seattle pass catchers they get in the ring with this week. Rookie tight end Elijah Arroyo, 31 yards versus Pittsburgh. Torrey Horton comes in off a 32-yard, 1-score excursion. Cooper Kupp with his first big game as a Hawk, 7 catches, 90 yards.
Finds a seam and gets the first down to Cooper Kupp.
And their number 1 hombre on campus, Jackson Smith-Njigba, 8 catches, 103 yards, so back-to-back 100-yard games for JSN.
And an emerging talent, an emerging superstar in Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Battle in the trenches. Darnold sacked twice by Pittsburgh, 33 pass attempts, pressured 40% of the time. He does tend to invite it because he's not a quick pass artist.
I mean, just a free run at the quarterback, unacceptable on the edge.
Saints pass rush rolls in off a 3-bag shopping trip. Carl Granderson with 2 of the 3.
Jones in some trouble, and Granderson's there to cover him up.
Seattle's rush attack came to life in their win. Kenneth Walker with a fat 8.1 yards per carry, scored, went for over 100 yards. His long was 20 too, so lots of chunky runs.
Kenneth Walker breaks inside the Pittsburgh 40.
Are you kidding me?
He'll try and keep it going against a Saints front that gave up or held CMC to 4.2 a run, held San Francisco's rush attack to 3 per run overall.
Now on the ground and nothing there. Demario Davis.
The Saints have scared both their opponents. Both games have come down to the wire. Their offense only scratched out 21 points versus the Niners, but Spencer Rattler rolls in with some confidence after throwing 3 touchdowns, no INTs, posting a nice 118 rate.
Rattler on the roll, fires, Shaheed caught a touchdown!
Rattler now 0-8 as a starter for what it's worth. Seattle defense he faces next has yet to allow a team to hit 18 points, held the previously explosive Pittsburgh offense to 17, just 5 for 15 on 3rd down, 2 takeaways.
Rodgers to his left on the move, corner of the end zone, and it's picked off by Darion Kendrick.
Seattle's secondary is a big test for Rattler, especially if they get Spoon back at corner, who missed last week hurt. Still picked off Aaron Rodgers twice, held him to a sub-60 rate, only 203 yards.
Batted into the air and down to the deck. Oh boy, that was almost taken away by Darion Kendrick.
Seattle only let one guy go for 35-plus receiving yards, held DK Metcalf to just 20, gave up 86 to running back Jaylen Warren, so they'll have to make sure to pay attention to Alvin Kamara then. 6 catches last week, only 21 yards though. Wide receiver Brandon Cooks comes in off a 26-yard day. Tight end Juwan Johnson scored 49 yards.
Sideline one-on-one for Johnson. Makes the adjustment. It's a touchdown.
Rashid Shaheed speeds in off a 52-yard one-score game.
It's one-on-one coverage for Rashid Shaheed.
And their WR1, Chris Olave, led them with 54 yards in their most recent loss.
Olave climbing the ladder to pull it down inside the 5. First and goal, New Orleans.
Rattler got planted 3 times by the Niners on 34 pass attempts. Pressure rate faced over 38, which isn't great.
Pocket collapsing, down he goes, Nick Bosa.
38% is exactly how often Seattle's pass rush pressured Rodgers. Got to him 3 times. Byron Murphy, 1.5 sacks.
Nothing downfield, and time runs out. It's Byron Murphy the second.
That Seattle front also struts in off a fine game against the run, holding Pittsburgh to just 3.4 a try.
And nothing much there for Warren. It is Tyrese Knight.
Held running back Jaylen Warren to 3.4 a carry. Next, they get Kamara, who has some good vibes on his side after hitting San Francisco for 99 yards, 4.7 per attempt.
Kamara again, an opening on the left side. First down and more. Kamara.
Saints have taken the Seahawks the last 4 times they've met up. I think I'm legally obligated to show this 2010 game whenever they play.
To keep the New Orleans offense off the field, Marshawn Lynch would have his shot at redemption.
Lynch left side, finds a little bit of a hole, keeps his legs moving, he's across the 40, midfield, 45, he's on the run, Lynch, 40, pushes him at 35, look at him go, he's down to 20, 15, he could go, he's gonna go, touchdown Seahawks, oh my word, the beast is alive and well. This is one of the greatest wins in Seahawk history. I mean, chalk it up, because nobody gave these guys a chance. I ain't got much to say. I'm so freaking jacked up.
New York Jets headed south week 3, still a donut in the win column. Trying to find a dub in Tampa Bay isn't going to be easy. Have to be able to stop Baker Ball, which is not a simple task.
Hot and in motion, they are going to run it. And a touchdown, Tampa Bay. Rashad White on top with 6 seconds to go.
Baker Ball. To play it, you have to have a chip on your shoulder at all times. It also can only be played with reckless abandon.
Pressure off the edge. Mayfield steps through, and he's tripped up with a first down by Gardner Johnson. 15 yards on 4th and 10.
And if the game is on the line late, well, it's almost impossible to stop. The new Popeyes pitchman once again breaking out a can of spinach late in the episode when the Brutuses were ready to snatch olive oil, in this case a win, from his hands. But once again, Mayfield saved the day.
He has been a battler, and it's what you come to expect from him. They needed to make plays. Mayfield makes it on 4th down.
Kids are like, who in the world is olive oil and Brutus? Doesn't Baker eat chicken strips and not spinach? Either way, New York's defense is dealing with a quarterback very full of confidence, and he's looking at a Jets defense that seems ripe for the taking after giving up 30-plus points back-to-back games to start the year.
And they hand it off. The former Jet is in.
The secondary Baker faces, at least, flies in off a strong game. They held Josh Allen to 148 yards, a low 70s rate, no TDs allowed.
Pass knocked down, brilliant play.
They gave up 47 yards to Josh Palmer. That was the high. Only 1 sack, though, on 27 tries. They could get home to Baker's house a few more times based on him taking 4 sacks at the hands of a fierce Texans pass rush.
3rd down and 4.
Mayfield, time runs out. Mayfield tripped up and down he goes.
Mayfield only threw for 215 yards, so not a lot of yards to go around. Emeka Egbuka just 29, though he scored for the second week in a row.
Egbuka looking for a block, got it. Emeka Egbuka, touchdown Tampa Bay.
Mike Evans saw the most week 2 targets with 11, had to grind with Derek Stingley shadowing him, still led the team with 56 yards.
Mike Evans on a perfect throw from Baker Mayfield working against Stingley.
Cade Otton, 25 yards, Ryan Miller, a 20-yard TD, Sterling Shepard, 34 yards, 50 yards went to Bucky the Ducky.
Irving, Alshire cannot make the stop. Irving still rolling down inside the 25.
And Irving could have a day on the ground this week, too, if New York doesn't shore some things up. Jets giving up 132 yards and 2 TDs to James Cook. Lots of guys had to retrieve their jock straps after being juked out of them.
Look at that move by Cook, and he's still going! James Cook!
That was next level. You used the joystick there for the jump cut, the wiggle.
Jets also let Allen go for 59 rush yards, let him get away for a 40-yard run. Mayfield will bowl. So much fun to watch when he does. 33 rush yards in their most recent win.
Mayfield goes by Petrie and gets the first down.
And then there's the backs. Rashad White, 65 yards, 6.5 per run last week.
And White just keeps rumbling. The ground game is working for Tampa Bay.
White had the game-winning paint job, too. Irving with 71 yards, hitting at 4.2 a carry.
Irving, nice move. A gain of 10.
Jets' own rush attack is a little up in the air this week. The whole offense is, with Justin Fields trying to recover from a concussion. He looked plenty rattled before he got hurt. 3 for 11, 27 yards. Offense was dazed and confused all game. 10 points, 0 for 11 on third down after their promising week 1 showings.
Oh, they're on him again. It's Bosa forcing the fumble.
If he can't go, it's the Tyrod Taylor show. He did throw a TD after coming on, put up a 100-plus rate at least.
And it is caught for the touchdown.
There you go,
Jeremy Ruckert.
Tampa's defense they face has shown out well so far in 2025. Held Atlanta to 20 points in week 1, Houston to 19 week 2, 2 for 9 on third down.
Backpedaling, Stroud almost throws a pick to Levante David, but it's fourth down.
Their secondary gave up a number of big chunk plays. A pass rush bagged Stroud 3 times on just 24 pass attempts.
Stroud is sacked on third down and 2 by Tyke Smith.
Jets QBs took 4 sacks on just 22 tries.
They're in on Fields. He's in trouble. He's not going to get away.
Buccaneers DBs held Nico Collins to 52 yards on 9 targets. Didn't allow anyone else to crack 40. Let's see what they can do with Garrett Wilson next. 50 yards last week. No other Jet had 10.
Throws a completion to Garrett Wilson. Just his second catch of the game. Was that a little too much?
Breece Hall also looking to rebound. Only 2.9 yards per carry on 10 tries. Fields is a problem if he's healthy. Buccaneers gave up a 25-yard TD run to Nick Chubb, and that was kind of it. Held him to 3.6 a run.
Here's Chubb, bottled up and gets nowhere. Vita Vea got through and made the tackle.
The Bucs have taken the Jets their last 2 face-offs, but it's been all New York in this series with Gang Green up 10-3. Give me 1985 for an offense that put up 62 points.
Against Tampa Bay, Ken O'Brien conducted a clinic in how to exploit a defense by throwing 5 touchdown passes, 3 of them to Mickey Schuler.
Here's O'Brien back to pass, straight down the middle, touchdown to Mickey Schuler. O'Brien on 2nd and 8, and he throws it into the end zone for the touchdown. O'Brien looking to the 5, a good diving grab by Schuler, and he dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Mickey Schuler with a great effort.
Al Toon's 78-yard catch and run highlighted a 62-28 win.
Pittsburgh Steelers take to the road with an even-Steven record to face the equally 1-1 New England Patriots, though they can claim to be the hotter of the two.
On fourth down, pressure coming, 2 in trouble, down he goes!
New England's defense came up big at the very end last week, came up big quite a bit before then too. That group has started the year strong, and now they go into a game with an offense that got things going as well. Accounted for 26 of their 33 points. Drake May strutting in off a 230-yard, 2 TD, 0 INT game. A fat 10 yards per attempt, a rate over 135 on 19 of 23 passing.
May moving, throwing, and it's caught for a touchdown!
And he could keep it rolling based on what Pittsburgh's defense has allowed QBs to do so far in 2025. Now, their defense only gave up 24 points of their 31 last week, special teams involved in their game, and they picked off Sam Darnold twice.
Downfield shot for Kupp, and Jalen Ramsey takes it away.
Steelers also gave up 2 TDs to Darnold and 295 yards, almost 9 yards per attempt allowed.
Trying to protect Darnold here. Over the middle. It's a touchdown.
They come in off a 2-sack game, healthy enough pressure rate, but no sacks yet for TJ Watt, and their pass rush didn't tilt things for the second game in a row. May did get planted 3 times by Miami, just 23 pass attempts.
May fakes it, in trouble, and Drake May is sacked.
When Drake let it fly, completed passes to 9 different pass catchers. Only one comes in off a game with 40-plus yards. Kayshon Boutte hauled in a beauty, but that 16-yarder was his only catch. Stephon Diggs, 32 yards. Tight end Austin Hooper, 38. Over 100 yards went to backs. Running back Travion Henderson, 30. Ramondre Stevenson, 88.
May steps up, throws. He's got Stevenson. What a catch!
Ramondre had a remember me game, also gave him 54 rush yards on a nice 4.9 a carry.
One thing going in today, we talked about how this offensive line and the run game can work together.
May can run it too, TD and 31 rush yards.
They've done a really good job of using his legs and his athleticism.
Stevenson or Henderson or Antonio Gibson, for that matter, could have a game against Pittsburgh's run defense, which hasn't showed up yet this year. Gave up countless big runs to Kenneth Walker last week, 105 yards, 8.1 a carry allowed, plus a TD.
Walker on the run. He may bust a touchdown. He will!
Struggled with Breece Hall in week 1, too. And while they didn't struggle to score in that one, they did versus Seattle, from a 30-plus point game to a 17-point game, 2 turnovers.
On the move, corner of the end zone, and it's picked up.
Aaron Rodgers stumbles into this one. 1 touchdown, 2 INTs versus Seattle, 203 yards, a sub-60 rate.
Rodgers downfield looking for Austin, picked up by Kobe Bryant.
The Pats defense he draws next, a mixed bag in week 2. The most important thing, though, is their defense held Miami to 20 points. The Finns scored on special teams. So for their defense, that's back-to-back 20-point games.
Nowhere to go, now throws, picked off!
Rodgers, looking at a secondary that picked off Tua Tagovailoa once, held Miami to 4 for 11 on 3rd down. They did give up 315 yards and 2 TDs to Tua as well, though.
Taking a shot for the end zone. Waddle is down there. Touchdown!
Gave up a touchdown to Jalen Waddle and 68 yards. Over 100 yards allowed to Tyreek Hill. Over 92 allowed to running back Devon Achane. Pittsburgh running back Jalen Warren is the lone Steeler to rack up more than 32 yards versus Seattle. He dropped 86 through the air.
What a throw on the move to Jalen Warren, who breaks into Seattle territory.
Tight end Pat Freiermuth, 31. Tight end Jonnu Smith, 27. Wide receiver Calvin Austin, 22. DK Metcalf scored, but only 20 yards. Rodgers, susceptible to taking a sack, took 3 more last week after taking 4 in week 1.
Nothing there for Rodgers, and he runs into a sack.
Pat's pass rush could work with that. They blew up Tua 5 times, and he's not usually easy to sack. Milton Williams with 2, Harold Landry with 1. He's had 1+ back-to-back games. New England with 4 and 5 sack showings thus far.
Tua pressure coming. Tua goes down.
Those guys are hard to run on. Held Achane to 2.7 a carry. New England back-to-back strong games against the run. Warren led Pittsburgh with 48 rush yards in their loss to Seattle, just 3.4 a carry. Pats have beaten the Steelers 3 straight and 8 of their last 9. It was all Pittsburgh when things first started out, though. The first time New England ever pulled off a win against the Steel Curtain, 1976, and it was a gem.
Indeed, the Patriots trailed Pittsburgh 20-9 until quarterback Steve Grogan shattered the Steel Curtain with 2 long-range touchdowns. Scores by Russ Francis and Darryl Stingley triggered New England's second straight upset victory. 30-27.
How about two 0-2 teams for a little Sunday night football action? Still, they'll give us more than 7 field goals and an uncontested rushing TD, right? Just depends on who shows up for the Giants' offense, Jekyll or Hyde, and whether the Chiefs' offense shows up at all.
Blitz, Mahomes over the middle, Kelsey. Oh, it's picked off!
Kansas City heads to Jersey, still trying to get their offense to catch. If they can't get it to light against a Giants defense that just gave up 40 points to Dallas, there could be real problems there. 21 week 1 points, down to 17 week 2, 4 for 12 on third down. Patrick Mahomes under 190 yards passing, only 1 TD against a pick, low 70s rate, back-to-back sub-90 rate outings to start his 2025.
Pumps, going deep, got a man wide open, Thornton, and he missed him!
Now he gives it a go against a New York secondary that just gave up 360-plus yards, 2 passing touchdowns, let him hit big a number of times in crunch time.
It's a pass, end zone, touchdown Dallas!
Yep.
Now, Dak threw 52 times. They held him under 7 yards per attempt. That's good stuff. And they did pick him off, and they also got to him 3 times. Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, both in on the action.
He is sacked from behind. It's Brian Burns.
Mahomes took 2 sacks on his 29 attempts. He's been taking care of business himself a lot so far, taking off 7 times last week for 66 rushing yards and a TD.
No one in the middle of the field, takes off, first down and more. Oh, there was nobody there, and he picked up 22 easily.
When he did let it go, hit Tyquan Thornton for a 49-yard TD.
Has Thornton again! This time he's got it!
He connected with Travis Kelce 4 times, should have been 5 in a different narrative maybe. Travis with 61 yards.
Throws, great catch, Kelce! Somehow picked it up!
Hollywood Brown 30 yards, and that was kind of it. They might get Xavier Worthy back, have to wait and see. Giants secondary did allow tight end Jake Ferguson to go for 78 yards, CeeDee Lamb to go for 112, and gave up TDs to Cavante Turpin and George Pickens.
End zone Turpin, touchdown Cowboys!
Nothing much from Kansas City's backs, 18 carries between Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, neither guy with more than 31 yards, both under 4 yards per carry. Maybe they find some success versus New York, being they gave up 97 yards to Javonte Williams, 5.4 a run, and a score.
Javonte Williams has room to the outside. He hurdles inside the 10.
Giants defense has work to do, clearly. Their offense, man, they'd take more of that. Never in his life had Russell Wilson had a game like that. 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, 11 yards per attempt, a 123 rate, chucking bombs all game in dramatic situations.
Look at end zone. There's a touchdown for New York.
Had a bad heat check throw in OT, unfortunately. Still, 37 points is a barrel full, and stacked against a Chiefs defense that held Philadelphia to 20 points. He takes on a secondary that held Jalen Hurts to 101 yards, under 5 yards per attempt, and a sub-80 rate. They held A.J. Brown under 30 yards, Devontae Smith 53. New York's attack built around wideouts as well. Malik Neighbors comes in off a 167-yard game, 2 scores.
Malik Neighbors! He dropped it in the bucket!
Wan'Dale Robinson comes in hot too, 142 yards and a TD.
Rips it to Robinson again, this time for 25.
And the third option, Darius Slayton, hauled in a 52-yard pass. It was an air raid attack.
Blown coverage right here, and Darius Slayton takes advantage.
KC got home versus Hurts twice on his 22 pass attempts. Wilson sacked 3 times along the way.
On 2nd and 10, bringing the pressure and getting to Wilson for the first time today.
Chiefs defense held Saquon Barkley to 4 a carry. That's a win. Now they get some Cam Skattebo maybe. He led New York in carries with 11 last week, punched 1 home.
He's got it straight ahead for the New York touchdown and his first in the NFL.
Giants up 11-4 over the Chiefs all time. First time they got in the ring together, 1974. What a way to get it going, too.
Craig Morton made his first start a winning one as he passed for 256 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium. New York took a comfortable 20-7 lead until Old Pro Lenny Dawson entered the game and rallied Kansas City to within 2 points. A lonely Joe Dawkins loped in with the winning touchdown, and New York had broken the losing streak with his second win of the season.
This is the primo Week 3 matchup, the ultimate cure for anyone out there who might have a case of the moon days. The Detroit Lions roar into Baltimore after cooking up a Week 2 50 burger.
Goff to the end zone, St. Brown, touchdown!
St. Brown faking a hamstring injury as a celebration. That's just great.
Taking on a Ravens team that's put up 40-plus points back-to-back games. So make sure you get home on time. Miss 5 minutes and you could miss like 5 scores.
Jackson looking to throw, looking toward the end zone. It's caught! Touchdown, Walker! All he does is score touchdowns!
Baltimore Ravens have been playing sublime in their earbuds ahead of kickoff this year. Forget freedom, though. They're pouring their 40s out for wins. They hit Week 3 off a 41-point outing, which was preceded by the 40 points they put up in their Week 1 loss.
Caught! Touchdown, Ravens! What a grab by the veteran DeAndre Hopkins!
First and goal, fellas.
Well, he still is amazing.
Baltimore's defense did account for 7 points versus Cleveland, but still, the Lions' offense, meantime, went Madden against the Bears, and unless Ben Johnson being somewhere on the field is the actual key to their offensive success, their 52 Week 2 points seem to have put to rest any concerns that they might not be the same old Lions anymore.
Goff's pass is complete and taken into the end zone by Brock Wright.
Baltimore's defense gets a Detroit O that just flexed each and every muscle that makes it so powerful. Sonic, Knuckles, Jameson, Amon-Ra, and Goff all found their grooves versus Chicago. They get Jarrett off a 5 TD outing, 23 of 28 for 334 yards, a whopping 11.9 yards per attempt, a rate of 156. Doesn't get much better.
There's Goff. Oh, he does it again.
One-hander, both feet in bounds.
Unbelievable.
Okay, well, Detroit's defense gets Lamar off a 4 TD showing no interceptions. Jackson, as a passer, back-to-back games with a rate over 128.
Off the play fake, Lamar looking to throw, throws toward the end zone, caught! Touchdown, Baltimore! Wallace got free!
Ravens O, typically fueled by its ground game, kind of gave it the week off to rest. Jackson only took off twice versus Cleveland, 13 yards. Derrick Henry only had 11 attempts, only 23 yards, so their legs are rested ahead of this game.
Henry with a head of steam is trying to get to the marker. He does, and he's got a first down.
Lions also feature a 2-headed rush monster, both backs, of course. David Montgomery, 57 yards, 5.2 a carry, Week 2. Painted it Honolulu blue once.
From the 1, here is Montgomery. He is in for a Lions touchdown.
And Roquan and company have Gibbs to deal with, who just went for 94 yards and a score. Jameer, 42-yard run, gave him a nice 7.8 per run average.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown.
Baltimore's only slight blemish on defense versus the Browns was the handling of a running back. Quinshon Judkins, who they gave up 61 yards to on 10 attempts, gave up 5.2 a run to Jerome Ford, too.
Ford slips through the defense.
Same is sort of true of Detroit's defense that let DeAndre Swift go for a touchdown, 63 yards on 5.3 a carry, so both teams have advantages along the ground, on paper at least.
Here's Swift, walks it in for a Bears touchdown.
The Detroit secondary Lamar will be looking at, on the other hand, enters off a strong enough performance, picked off Caleb Williams once, held him to 207 yards and less than 7 yards per attempt.
Kirby Joseph, did he stay in bounds? Joseph comes up with the pick.
They did give up 2 TDs to Rome Odunze and 128 yards. The second TD and some of those yards surrendered when they handed the PlayStation control to their dad after things were already taken care of. Now they have to try and slow Zay Flowers, who has led Baltimore in receiving yards both games, 11 targets last week, 7 more than anyone else, 75 yards after going for 140 plus week 1.
Zay Flowers again. He said he concentrated on the smaller muscles for explosiveness this offseason.
Outside of Flowers, it's anyone's guess who Lamar might turn to. DeAndre Hopkins had 2 targets, scored on 1, 64 yards, has made highlight-worthy catches back-to-back games.
He might be the best guy in the league at this still. Even when he's covered, he's not covered.
No one else had 27 yards, though, but Devontae Walker caught 2 of Jackson's TDs. Tylan Wallace had 1 as well. Rashad Bateman looms 2, though just 15 yards versus Cleveland. Maybe the Lions' pass rush can tilt the action in their favor. Jackson did take 3 sacks, 1.5 at the hands of Myles Garrett.
Play clock at 1. Jackson, pressure's coming.
Wow.
And Myles Garrett spins him down.
Detroit has its own version of Myles, and Aiden Hutchinson had one of the Lions' 4 Week 2 sacks.
Williams in trouble. Aiden Hutchinson, sack number 4.
So back to Baltimore's defense versus Detroit's O. Ravens' own pass rush produced 2 sacks last week, 48 pass attempts though, a solid pressure rate at least. Nnamdi Madubuike got to Joe Flacco once. He has sacks in both games so far.
He's in trouble. He's going down. Flacco's wrapped up by Madubuike.
The O-line they do battle with this week corrected the issues it had week 1, from taking 4 sacks to taking 0 versus the Bears.
Goff was looking deep, and then he connects with St. Brown.
Baltimore's secondary had mixed results after 2 games, got torched by Josh Allen, had little problem with Flacco, picked him off once. The 1 TD they gave up to him was Fluke City. They held him to a measly 4.4 yards per attempt and under 200 yards.
Flacco, and he throws on the run, and it's intercepted! Nate Wiggins!
Their secondary gave up 40 yards to David Njoku, 48 to tight end Harold Fannin, 51 to Jerry Jeudy. Next up, St. Brown, who is walking in after putting up a TD hat trick a week ago, 115 yards.
The communication that's unsaid between Goff and Amon-Ra, that is just too easy.
Williams also went for over 100 yards, also celebrated in the end zone.
Goff going deep. Williams, touchdown!
Vintage Detroit Lions.
Nothing major from tight end Sam Laporta. No other Detroit pass catcher put up 30 yards, but 6 other guys did catch a Goff pass. Lions-Ravens has only happened 7 times. Not many pairings have played fewer games. 6-1 in favor of Baltimore. The only time they didn't beat them, 2005.
In Week 5, against the vaunted Raven defense, Jones and Sean Bryson showed how good this running game could be in an impressive win against Baltimore.
One man can catch him. Bryson 30, 25-20. I'm waving, Sean. You're gone, baby. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. 77 yards.